All right, after some technical difficulties, I'm back. Not that it matters for the depth of the conversation. Now Justin's frozen, but hey, we're coming to you unfiltered, a little biased, and 100% truthful. Justin, where did we leave off?
Oh, we were talking about some bold takes. I think the last thing we were talking about was just, still no fumble recoveries for the defense.
No, forced
It
fumble.
has to do with how they're tackling. They're tackling to bring the guy down, not to hold him up and have somebody rip him off, which is kind of what we felt like is where sometimes those big plays happen. You try to hold somebody up or you try to go for the ball. Sometimes, dude, just take them down. And, the fumbles will present themselves, fumble recoveries, fumble options, or forced fumbles will present themselves when they can. Otherwise, Ben, we want to chat with you about your bold prediction. You want to tell us what it was?
Yeah, I think I had fumble recovery for a touchdown. Well, we should have had the interception TD, little block in the back on a falling attempted tackler at the 1 yard line by Trey Moore. Um, but I appreciate the effort of him trying to pave a way for his fellow defender to get in the end zone. That was a great interception. Like you guys said, no fumble recoveries, no forced fumbles. Or I guess we had to have fumble recovery, but not a forced fumble.
No forced
Um,
fumble.
yeah, so hey, maybe tackling drills this week. They're throwing some punches when they're wrapping up. And that's one thing you see at the next level a lot is they're not just going in, wrapping up, which they are, but they're punching at the ball while wrapping up.
Yep.
So maybe we see some of that in the next few games. I think my main bold take was 250 yards rushing. I think we were reminiscing on some of the Mac Brown era where Texas was like 70-1 when they rushed for over 200 yards. Texas did that in this game. I think they fell 11 yards short. We had 239
Well,
yards.
give yourself a little bit of a break. It was
Yeah,
230,
so
but 8 yards a sack, 8 yards.
my brain kind of works, in 25-yard chunks. So we got the over 225. So to me, that's 250.
There you go.
So we're on the closer side to 250 than 225. So we approach that echelon. But yeah, Jadon Blue, obviously the bulk of the carries, 25, I think. Next closest was 10. Gibson had 9. Kind of so he didn't get as much as we thought going into the game. So that was a little surprising. We weren't quite sure. Wisner was scratch. Um, yeah, I mean, do what you're supposed to do. Run the ball 200 over 200 yards. Um, so not that bold looking back, but proud of the team for how they finished the game running the ball.
Oh yeah,
Last bold take, Ryan Niblett, first career touchdown.
that's right. That's what it was.
Yeah, that was fun seeing him getting some playing time. And
It
then when they
was.
had the touchdown and they got called back and they gave it right back to him.
Yeah.
That
We
was
had
neat.
One
we
in
had
the
six
second
wide
quarter.
receivers in our main rotation.
Yeah.
Those six all had touchdowns. Ryan Niblett is man number 7. He was the only one without the touchdown.
Yep.
So it's good to see him get his first.
And Jadon Blue lit it up, man. He had 4 touchdowns because he had that one receiving one too. So
Mm.
it was a hell of a game by him, and you could tell he
Uh,
was out trying to say, "Hey, I'm the guy. I got us," and maybe he'll be the 1,000 yard rusher that Sark is known for. It'll be not necessarily tough, but it'll be a stretch for him to do it, especially with the SEC conference games coming up.
um, I think I was looking. Was there only 15 catches, 15 completions? There were
Yep.
11 different targets, 11 different receivers, running backs, tight ends, whatever, catch passes.
Yep.
So really spread the ball around. I did want to ask you, Justin. We had been talking about, all throughout these podcasts, which wide receiver is stepping up, separating them from the pack. I mean, we've been talking a lot about Bond, Golden, Bolden, potentially Moore and Cook, but you know, which freshman is starting to stand out to you?
Oh man, that's got to be Ryan Wingo. Absolutely. Like I feel like he thanks for the toss up. I feel like he came in with so much hype, right? But still freshman receiver to go off and do what he's doing. I don't know his yards per catch on the season, but it's over 20 for sure. It's probably closer to 30 if I had to guess. Um, he looks phenomenal. He looks like he belongs right there with the top three guys. Um, I think he's gonna be starting over Moore, especially if Moore's hurt. Moore has earned his way on there because of the blocking, like we've talked about. He's got that Jay Witt role. Um, but man, he is so damn good. And I don't know if like the defenders are just not paying attention to him, but his separation is unreal. And when he gets the ball and runs, his yards after catch is insane. So I'm loving watching him. I didn't think he would be this impactful this early, especially with how many just veteran receivers we had that were just up there. I mean, talking about Bolden, Bond, Cook, Moore, right? And Golden. I mean, they're just Bolden, Golden, but you got all these guys that are coming in, and how do you feed all of them? I don't know. It seems like they're all pretty happy with the way things are going. I guess as long as you're winning, you're going to be happy. But for Wingo to come in and say, hey, hold my beer, watch this is pretty impressive. So I love what I'm seeing out of him so far. And you can definitely tell there's a connection between him and Arch from a lot of, I'm sure, practice reps together.
Are they roommates?
In real life, like every day, I think they go to breakfast and have coffee every morning, is what I've heard.
Uh, um, look, when you're this dangerous in the wide receiver ranks like we are, you can put the best cover corner in the country. Like, what's the cornerback from Michigan?
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah, Will Johnson, right?
Oh, Jalen Johnson's on the Bears. Yeah, it's Will Johnson.
Yeah, right. Will Johnson.
Yep.
Will Johnson. I mean, like, it doesn't matter how good one person is, or we're just going to spread it out, and somebody's going to be open. Someone's going to have that one-on-one versus safety, or even a linebacker.
Yep.
And our quarterbacks are good enough and are prepared enough to be able to dish the ball to who's open.
Yep.
That's why I still don't know if there's a clear like number one wide receiver on this team. It looks like Matthew Golden was kind of emerging as that person for Quinn, but now that Arch is in, there's different chemistries and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun to watch this
You
team.
know, I think that's a good thing. I feel like so many times when there's a clear number one, you see the quarterback just staring at him and like, hey, I gotta feed him the ball. He's our number one receiver. I can't remember which game I was watching this weekend where that was happening. But yeah, like I haven't really noticed it with this team. Like RPOs are pretty, you're kind of looking at one guy for a read. I mean, so that in that case, you're kind of staring down. But I mean, even when Arch, was playing this game, like I know he had quite a bit of time throwing these deep balls, but I mean, it looked to me like he was looking all around the field, and then okay, that guy's open deep, give him a shot, which I'm a fan of. So I love giving the guy an opportunity to make a play downfield, and yeah, we had a couple that hit. So
yeah. Yeah, I will just last thing on that is that our five best receivers versus anybody's five best DBs, we're gonna win. Hands down. I don't see anybody's gonna stop that. So
all right, last segment here today. QB controversy. Reality or real stupid? Brett.
Oh man, the intelligent people, the people that keep up with Texas football and like paid attention to spring reports and fall reports, or the evolution of Quinn and the development of Arch, they know, right? We know there was never a quarterback controversy. That's just a way of the media can shove the football's first family into the conversation. I was listening to some inept 24/7 reporter talking about how Sarkisian's got the biggest decision of his career coming up here in the next couple of weeks when Quinn's healthy again. I'm just like, come on. Like, if you've listened to anything that any of the Mannings have said, it's like they're perfectly fine with a slow development for Arch. Let him have time in the system. Let Sark do his thing with him. And then once he's ready to have the ball, give him the ball, let him have a couple of years to play quarterback.
Yep.
There's no rush there. And if you watch the game carefully, yeah, Arch looks great. Like he's got an absolute cannon arm. And Ben, I'm with you. Um, it's fun to watch him throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
But you can tell that Sark kind of dumbed the game down a little bit, slowed it down a little bit, right? Made very obvious reads for Arch to where it's hit the wide receiver that's wide open down the field or try to dump it out in the flats to nothing. There was none of those deep out routes that were known that Quinn, can throw over the top of a linebacker before a safety. We weren't seeing those very dynamic throws. Arch is going to be fantastic. He is obviously the future of this program. It's not this year, though. This is Quinn's team. Quinn's the guy. He's ready for this. We saw Arch struggle on the check down throws several times. He threw some really bad balls that looked like freshman mistake, which is okay. But there's not a quarterback controversy. He is a really, really good backup quarterback for Texas football this year.
I will say, I talked to a lot of the folks around me at the game, and after Arch, showed his youth, I said, who here still thinks we have a quarterback controversy? And most people, I'd say, were like, no, it's not. It's Quinn's team. So I do feel like the hype that was there because you want to see Arch is one thing, and you've seen him just be amazing like 2 games ago, right? I think that was still in everybody's brain, and then you see him throw what I guess 2 picks, right? Just go, oh, that's right. He's not quite there, right? And even still, I do think he has a great arm, but he needs to throw those deep balls. Some of them, they shouldn't have been contested catches. They should have been touchdowns where the guy just catches it and runs it. But he threw it like a half beat late, and it couldn't get to the receiver in time, so it let the DB catch him. The amount of deep balls they threw was shocking. Like, I don't think that they let Quinn do that. And I don't know if it's because Quinn's not comfortable with it, doesn't have the chemistry that we think that they should, or kind of maybe it's just the looks that ULM was giving us. But yeah, you're right. It was 100% check down, scramble over, whatever, quick run, or throw it deep, see what happens. And they're fun to watch, don't get me wrong. But the throws that they work out for Quinn are totally different. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like you said, there's no QB controversy. I love having Arch on the team. I'm glad he's the next guy in line. But Quinn, he's the one that's going to take us to the promised land if we already get there.
All right. I got a take here, and this is unscheduled. We're running out of time. Jadon Blue as a receiver out of the backfield, probably our best running back receiver out of the backfield. Obviously, I think there was a big play in the Michigan game. He dropped like a wheel route on the left side. I did not think those throws. There were like 2 throws on wheel routes in the game against in this game this weekend where I thought they were not that overthrown, and I didn't see the kind of effort from a running back that I wanted to see. Like that one in the end zone, like I thought it looked catchable to me. He didn't even stick his arms out. He just
You're right. That wheel route,
yeah.
It didn't look like Lou was running hard until the last little bit. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, he threw it. I got to go. Yeah.
And then there was almost an interception on
A
it.
little bit of air on it.
Yeah. There was almost an interception on a curl route that he ran, and the corner jumped it.
Yep.
Part of that could be the corner, made a great play, but also you got to sell the vertical. And